Jimmy Butler in particular, it seemed like you guys got pretty close by the end of the playoffs. What kind of loss is it for you personally, just not to have him around with you?
It was a big loss because me and him, we got to the point where we were really close. We still close. We talk a lot, and that's my guy. That's my brother forever. I wish he was on the team because I feel like the relationship that I built with him could have gone a long way. I knew that I could count on him too. So this year, he kind of changes around.
Could Joel Embiid actually end up on the Miami Heat? What's up guys, Nick Smith NBA back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about Joel Embiid after what he posted on Instagram and Jimmy Butler responding to his Instagram post. So we're going to look at that, but if you enjoy NBA content, please be sure to hit that like to show support on the channel. Let's aim for 1,000 likes for the next video. And if you're new around here and you enjoy NBA content, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification button so you never miss an upload. With that said, let's get on to the video. So as you probably all know, I am a Heat fan, so I love talking about the Miami Heat, and this is an interesting scenario because Jimmy Butler has obviously responded to Joel Embiid over on Instagram, and Joel Embiid posted a picture with the caption, "You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Hashtag the process." Jimmy Butler, obviously part of the Miami Heat and a great friend of Joel Embiid, posted, "I know a place where villains are welcome." Embiid responded with, "Damn right, my brother." So this is obviously interesting for multiple reasons. Number one, this could mean absolutely nothing, and it's just two ex-teammates having a little bit of friendly banter in the comment section of an Instagram post. But something tells me there's a little bit more than that. Considering what's been said in the media about Joel Embiid, the 76er fans booing Joel Embiid.
Sixers up by 5, shot clock winding down, and Simmons finds Embiid. He hits that three. Check him out again. He's still got the shushing going.
The whole situation with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid about a month ago, Jimmy Butler being one of Joel Embiid's closest friends. Let's just add them all up. Something's happening here. Do I really think he'll be traded though? And do I think it will be to the Miami Heat? Well, that's questionable, and we'll get into that in this video too. But why would Joel Embiid post this Instagram post? Was he just trolling? We know Joel Embiid loves to troll, and we know he's been doing that since he entered the NBA. But did he have a go at 76er fans here? Or was he just being Joel Embiid and trolling around? Here are the reasons why he could be frustrated and maybe not trolling around this time. Number one, we know that Joel Embiid has been getting booed in Philadelphia. Number two, there have been trade talks surrounding Joel Embiid over the last month or so. There's been a lot of speculation to whether Embiid is really happy with Ben Simmons. Is Ben Simmons happy with Embiid? I posted a video about a month ago on the whole Ben Simmons-Joel Embiid saga, so this looks like it could be continuing if the Philadelphia 76ers continue to struggle throughout this season. This may be the last stretch for the Philadelphia 76ers after they couldn't make it to the NBA Finals last year with Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, and obviously Tobias Harris. And this year it's the same lineup except they have Josh Richardson and they added Al Horford, but their bench is obviously a little bit different. So if the 76ers were once a final contending team and a team that many thought would come out the East as the first or second seed, and now they're coming in as the 6th seed in the East, it doesn't look good. But could he end up in Miami, and do you think that will actually happen? And if I'm being honest with you, I really want to hear what you believe down below in the comment section, because I'm asking this question to you. Do you think that Joel Embiid will end up on the Miami Heat? And I'll share my thoughts in this video, but I have a few questions that I actually want to ask you. Number one, do you think the Miami Heat should trade a guy like Bam Adebayo, who's 22 years old and an all-star for the first time in this Miami Heat team? Should they trade him away in a deal for Joel Embiid? Because some may argue the fit of Joel Embiid and Bam together in the same starting lineup could be questionable. And the second question is, if you don't have a deal centered around Bam Adebayo, who do the Miami Heat trade for Joel Embiid? Should the Miami Heat trade for Joel Embiid? Or do you think this is just a little bit of friendly banter between two ex-teammates and players that are good friends of each other? Joel Embiid on the Philadelphia 76ers is a good player, but if we're being honest with ourselves, he is only a good player this season. Last year, I would say that he was a great player. This year though, he's a good player. and that is based off stats, but also because he has been injured, and injury-riddled players can actually affect a team more so than players who are just playing poorly, because players who just play poorly and have a decrease in stats, they have the potential to bounce back from that and change their game to play better later down the season. If they're injured, that actually affects the team. It affects chemistry issues, and obviously if they can't play, it means they're a liability to the team in the end. And a player like Joel Embiid who has an injury history, it is a little bit scary in my opinion. But let's have a look at Joel Embiid's stats this season, in the 2019-2020 season, and compare that to last year. He averages nearly 23 points per game, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.5 blocks per game, shooting 46% from the field and 33% from 3. Joel Embiid last season though averaged 27.5 points, 13.5 rebounds, 2 blocks on 48% from the field and 30% from 3. Joel Embiid is a player that can be unstoppable, and we saw that last season, but this season with the Philadelphia 76ers, he's definitely struggled. He's had some injuries here and there, but at the end of the day, a guy who averages 27.5 points at 24 years of age should not have a decline at 25 years of age to only average 23 points per game. He should really be increasing every year, but this season he's had a downwards year, and that's why many people on the Philadelphia 76ers are questioning his heart, his determination, and that's why there's been a lot of speculation around if he may leave the Philadelphia 76ers and if he will get traded from the team to let them build around Ben Simmons, who obviously at times looks like he struggles with Joel Embiid in the lineup, considering that neither player is a great outside shooter, but at least Embiid takes them. And in fact, he takes nearly 4 threes a game, where Ben Simmons takes none. So having Joel Embiid, who only averages 33% from 3, and Ben Simmons in the same lineup, who doesn't shoot at all, the spacing on the Philadelphia 76ers is probably the reason why they're not winning games, above many other things like chemistry that obviously hasn't really clicked this season. But Joel Embiid on the Miami Heat could be interesting. So I want to hear your thoughts, but here are my thoughts. If I'm being 100% honest with you, I don't know if I 100% like the fit of Joel Embiid on the Miami Heat. To be fair, we have Bam Adebayo, who's becoming one of the best power forwards in the league. He's an all-star this season, and he's only 22 years old. Jimmy Butler is 30 years old, and that's where it gets interesting, because you really can build around guys like Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn, and of course Duncan Robinson, who's emerged as one of the better three-point shooters in the league. Those guys are all reasonably young. You can build around that squad. Bam's a good player, Tyler Hero looks like a solid rookie, and Kendrick Nunn's been one of the better players in this year's Rookie of the Year race. So those guys are young, and you can build a team around that, but we know what the Miami Heat are like. As a Heat fan, I've seen this before. Obviously, you know what Pat Riley's like. He always wants to compete. That's the reason why he went after Jay Crowder, got Andre Iguodala. Those guys are all veteran guys that could help the Miami Heat in the playoffs, because when you think about it, Goran Dragic's 33 years old, Jimmy Butler's 30, Jay Crowder's 29, Iggy's 36. And so all these guys are not waiting here for Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero and Kendrick Nunn to develop. These guys are looking to win now, and so is Pat Riley. So in my opinion, having a guy like Joel Embiid on the team could be something that the Miami Heat could look into. Who will they trade for Joel Embiid though? That's the real question, because I don't believe they're going to give up Bam Adebayo, and that also opens up another question. Can Bam and Joel Embiid play off each other? Bam's a power forward, and he is a power forward this season with Myers Leonard playing center, but Myers Leonard is able to play center on this team because he's a guy that can really stretch the floor as one of the better three-point shooters in the entire league for a guy that plays at the center position. At one stage of the season, Myers Leonard was the best three-point shooter in the entire NBA to open up this NBA season. But Joel Embiid isn't an amazing outside shooter. He averages about 1.5 threes per game on 4 attempts, which is 33% from the field. But the thing about Joel Embiid is that he can be a decent shooter. He entered the NBA averaging 36% from 3 off 3 threes a game. So if Joel Embiid can average 36% from 3, he may be able to find his role on the Miami Heat, because I believe they have much better spacing than the Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, when you think about it, the Miami Heat are surrounded by shooters. Along with their fitness requirements, which would obviously benefit Joel Embiid, he may average around 30 points with the Miami Heat, considering he averaged 27.5 last season. To increase his points per game by 3 is definitely not out of the question. because Jimmy Butler is a willing passer and he's the facilitator on the Miami Heat. And I know many people will counter that argument and say that the 76ers have Ben Simmons, who obviously is one of the better passers in the league. But the thing about Ben Simmons is that they can double team Embiid and leave Ben Simmons wide open because he cannot shoot. With Jimmy Butler, if you leave him open, he isn't the greatest shooter in the league, but he can hit the open jumper, which means that you can't always double Embiid in the post, and that is vital for a team who wants to build around a starting center like Joel Embiid. It's harder when you have a Philadelphia 76ers team and Ben Simmons who can't shoot. If you have Joel Embiid in the post, you can surround him with Jimmy Butler, who can hit the three, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, and whoever else you want to put in that offense. Everybody can hit the open three, and it creates space for Butler to drive in and Embiid to post up. With Philly at the moment, there isn't much of that. He would play really well with Joel Embiid, and we've seen that before with the Philadelphia 76ers, but unfortunately it was only half a season, and it was also a weird combination with Ben Simmons not being able to shoot and Jimmy Butler not being the greatest outside shooter either. But with the Miami Heat, you have guys like Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Myers Leonard, and they're all really good shooters. If you put Joel Embiid on that team, you can definitely space the floor a lot better than what the Philadelphia 76ers have, so he may be a great fit for the Miami Heat. And we're not just discussing any random team here. We're discussing a team that is built by Pat Riley, and he isn't afraid of building a contending team around a center. He traded for the biggest center in the NBA in Shaquille O'Neal in 2004, and the Miami Heat ended up winning a championship just 2 seasons later. Before then, it was Alonzo Mourning from the Charlotte Hornets, and if you ask any Heat lifer, Alonzo Mourning is the reason why the Miami Heat are the team they are today. Even being one of the most recent teams built in the entire NBA. The Miami Heat are a destination team because they're in Miami, and Pat Riley has been a main contributor to getting stars on his team and building around them to achieve success. Joel Embiid could just be another big man that the Miami Heat build around, and he would be joining one of his better friends in Jimmy Butler. In the end, it's just up to Pat Riley and if he can pull off a trade, or if the Miami Heat are not willing to part ways with Bam Adebayo, which also makes a lot of sense. If the Miami Heat are able to keep Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, that would be insane, but also it's a questionable fit with Joel Embiid and Bam Adebayo. Maybe Bam would have to be in the trade to acquire Joel Embiid, and that's where it gets interesting. Do the Miami Heat risk losing Bam when Bam's 22 years old and Joel Embiid's turning 26 this year and will be 27 next year? Do you go with a younger player in Bam, a first-time All-Star, or do you go with Joel Embiid, who's obviously the better player now, but he could have the potential chance of getting injured, and he is getting a little bit older? The questions are there for the Miami Heat. I want to hear what you think down below in the comment section. Do you believe that Joel Embiid could end up on the Miami Heat with his good friend Jimmy Butler? The comments on Instagram were interesting, but I want to hear what you think down below. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button to show your support. Subscribe if you're new for NBA content every single week, and hit that notification button so you never miss an upload. I'm out. Peace.